What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today, we packed the best player, not just the best player that I packed on The Road to Glory, but around the 5th best player I have ever packed in any FIFA ever. And it was in the first pack. We did an upgrade pack. We got a pause, a walkout. Bang, it was Spanish. I was like, PK, Pedro Leon. No. It was Isco, who currently has a value of about 1 million coins. And we packed him. And you think, wait, he's the 4th or 5th best player you've ever packed? Yep. I packed 99 Ronaldo last year. I packed 99 Messi. Or 98 Messi last year. I've packed a couple of 97 Team of the Seasons last year as well. But generally, I had never, ever packed 95 plus rated players. Last year was the first year, I think I recall, packing like a huge player. So this 96 rated Isco is one of the greatest players I have ever packed in any FIFA ever. And that is awesome, absolutely awesome. So we pack Isco. I'm going to be fitting him into a team for sure, probably next weekend league. This weekend league, I'm quite happy with my team. We're going to go through some gameplay and stuff today. Of course, after yesterday's episode, we finished 5-0. Because I've got some comments to go through, I will talk about the gameplay now. We end today 12-2 on today's video. So we end 12-2. I'm happy with 12-2. I'm actually really happy with 12-2 for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a good start to go elite. However, last weekend league, I was also 12-2. And then the next thing you know, I was 14-6. Yeah, 14-6. So I finished on 14 wins from the first 20 games. And I only got 12 wins in the second set of 20 games. So, you know, 12-2 is not too bad. But the thing that I'm enjoyed the most about this weekend is every game has been a very good game. I haven't come up against any bad players. I feel like every player has been a decent player and has made me work hard for my wins. And the 2 losses that I took were just thoroughly deserved losses. You know, games that sure I could have won. I wasn't like completely outclassed or completely outplayed, but they were games where the goals were earned, the goals were deserved, the play was fun. You know, so I've taken the 2 losses and it's not a problem. You know, I'm happy essentially with the 2 losses. You know, I lost to 2 very deserving players, which for me is a very obscure thing to come about. You know, usually I'm like, oh, I lost a couple of games. One guy was really bad and got lucky and this and that. And I attribute a lot of that to the 5 at the back formation. I attribute a lot of that to the fact that I'm not making that many defensive mistakes anymore. I'm still making some defensive mistakes here and there, and I'm still costing myself an odd goal here or there. But traditionally and generally speaking, my opponents are really having to work very hard for their goals, and it makes it so that I very rarely concede goals that I don't deserve to concede in this formation, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace. As I mentioned in the last video, the biggest issue with this formation is the fact that it is ridiculously difficult to craft chances. Fortunately for me, my offense is very good. It's the stronger part of my gameplay. My offense is very strong. But it's very true to say that if you go, like, you know, a lot of people, I'm seeing comments, like one of the comments was, let me actually get it real quick. From Mr. Z Matthew says, can you please switch to 4 at the back because I've come up against so many 5 to the back after you started it and it just ruins it for everybody. First of all, no, and second of all, I just don't believe you. I've come up against no 5 at the back so far in 15 total games. Not a single player I've come up against had 5 at the back. And I know that's, you know, my experience isn't everyone's experience, but it's a good indication of what the truth would be. You know, I've spoken to a few friends that play Foot Champs all the time, and they also haven't come up against any 5 at the backs. So if you've come up against a lot of 5 at the backs, you're either just really unlucky or you're just not being honest with us here, you know. Alternatively, as I was going to say, if you go 5 at the back, but you're not good in attack, 5 at the back will not be good for you because you won't be able to create the chances. And that's not me trying to blow my own trumpet or anything like that, but I understand the attacking game mechanics way better than I understand the defensive game mechanics. That's just how it is. It's just a fact. It's just the truth. So for me, I'm able to craft opportunities. With the few that I get, I'm able to turn them into goals. And you'll see quite a lot of the match stats here at the end of the game is me having a fair bit of possession, not many chances, but not conceding many chances either. So if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, I'm also really bad defensively, but I can't score goals, and you switch to 5 at the back, it's not going to help you. And to Mr. Z Matthew that says it just ruins it for everybody. It ruins what for you, dude? This is one of the issues I had back in FIFA 15 when I started using 5 at the back, and lots of other people started following and using 5 at the back as well. It's a formation that's in the game that is there to be used and abused if necessary. There are so many meta things in this game. There are so many broken game mechanics, like the low-driven shot, like the auto lunges and stuff. Every time I use a low-driven shot to score a goal, is that also ruining it for my opponent? Because if it is, then that's too damn bad. You know what I mean? Like, what should I do? Just use a 4-back formation just so my opponent has a better chance of beating me, even though, for me, a 5 at the back suits me better. Or at least this weekend league, I would go as far as saying it hasn't had a detrimental effect on my results. So if you can't play against 5 at the back, you should worry about and focus on improving your game rather than considering what I'm doing in my game, because I've done something that is seemingly working for me. I'll let you know at the end of the 40 games. It's very likely I'm going to collapse at one stage or another. We all know it will come. It's just whether or not I collapse so bad that I don't finish in Elite, or collapse so bad enough that I still manage to finish in Elite. Those are the differences that we're talking about here. So if I'm able to take this 5 at the back and you're unable to beat me, you should focus more on what you've got to do to be able to beat that, not on the fact that I've done something there that works for me. And as I say, it's working so far. It's working so far, but we're through the first phase of Foot Champs. I'm through that now at 12-2, and actually after 15 games, as I said, I'm 15 games in. I'm actually 13-2 after 15 games. So I'm through the first phase of FIFA, relatively unscathed. If I can get to 16 or 17 wins before 20 games, I definitely feel like this formation might just be the one for me. I might try a new 5 at the back next week. Might go for the 5-2-2-1, just because I really miss wingers. Not to use them, just in my play style. I just really miss wingers. They're just not there. They don't do anything for me. I find it far more difficult, I think, to create chances with 2 strikers and 3 flat midfielders than if I had 2 wingers and a striker. So I might switch back. But generally speaking, dude, you know, there's so much broken in this game that it's just another thing. You know what I mean? It's just another thing that's, if 5 at the back is strong, it's just strong, and you're going to have to learn to adapt or get left behind. Anton Lund says, hey Nep, if I block you on Xbox Live, I wouldn't be able to play you on FIFA if I have understood correctly. So for example, can you block all the pros? Hope you understand my point. Much love from Sweden. Hope everything is good with you and family. Keep up the good content. This got a lot of thumbs up, so I thought I'd address it. This is just wrong. I don't know who told you this information or where you heard it, but it's not true. I have a few people already blocked through communications because I just get, you know, a lot of abuse because of who I am and the fact they notice me and such, so on and so forth. Not often, but you know, most positive messages, but some negative messages. So I block people. I was on stream. Like I knew this wasn't true anyway, but just to give you some proof, I was on stream last weekend league, and I beat a guy that I knew I'd played him plenty times before, and I was saying on stream during the game, this guy has sent me rage messages. Before he sent me like abusive messages, and so after the game I was waiting for a message, and when I didn't get one, I was like, oh, let me check his profile and see how many wins he got. And when I clicked on his profile, he had already been blocked. So that's not true. If you just end up going and blocking all the pros, you've literally done, you've served nothing but wasted your time by going and finding those accounts and blocking them on your profile. You won't not play people just because you have them blocked. Otherwise, it'd be really easy to just get, every time I lost a game or was in a difficult game, I'd just block that person. Eventually, I'd filter it out to the point where I just played against scrubs. FIFA Techers says, looking at Team of the Season Lacazette, he is basically a perfect mid for Nep. High work rates, 4-star, 4-star 90s everywhere apart from defending, which Nep doesn't seem to make a difference. And he has a perfect link to Tolisso, who has 85 plus across the board too. So, here's something that's interesting. And I don't know if this is necessarily because of the formation change or because I was just wrong, which is very possible. But having Kante in this midfield has been game-changing several times. I stand by my point that he doesn't win those headers. He doesn't win the headers that I find effective. You know, a lot of my goals when using 4-3-2-1 came from my midfielders winning both offensive and defensive headers and turning those into counter-attacks. A lot of my goals came from that. But with Kante in the midfield, I don't really have that anymore. However, it is true to say that the dude is just a little menace. He's just everywhere all the time. You know, and I've only got the ones to watch Kante. I don't even have the best version of him. It was probably somewhat naive of me to just assume without trying or without caring that I was right, you know, because it was one of those things for me where it's like I kind of felt if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And for me, winning those headers, I wasn't necessarily focused. I wasn't necessarily like saying people were wrong. I always said to people, you know, if a lot of the pros use Kante. If you guys love Kante, use him. If he works for you, use him. But what I had did truly work for me. Having Costa in the midfield, it worked for me because he won those headers. And what I was constantly focused on was this positive attraction, this positivity that Diego Costa got for me. So every time I won a header and it ended up resulting in a goal, or even just won a header and won possession back, I would note that mentally. Ah, see, he won the header. These people keep telling me I need players like Kante. I wouldn't have won that header without Kante, and that most likely would have been true. But every time Costa wasn't there to stick a foot in and wasn't there tracking back and wasn't there at the end of the game still running around at 99 miles per hour, I can't attribute that as a mental note because it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like if somebody doesn't walk in my room right now, I won't remember that somebody didn't walk in my room. But if somebody does walk in my room, I will absolutely remember, oh hey, such and such walked in my room. Now that I've got Kante there, I can notice that specifically in this formation, he is very, very good at just running people down and winning the ball back. You know, I've kind of sacrificed that one area of my gameplay of winning those headers to put in a defensive-minded player that is truly very good, and I'm very happy about it. And it has changed my outlook on playing FIFA right now. This whole weekend league has changed my outlook on playing FIFA right now. The way that I'm using a new formation and such, and it will definitely encourage me and make me think about what I'm doing going forwards. With that being said, even though we have got Kante now and we have got the 5-3-2. I am still at a very, very similar stage now as I was last week. You know, I'm 13-2 overall now. I was 12-3 at this exact point last week. So I'm only one win more. However, if that one win is one win over 15 games, you know, 2 or 3 times throughout a weekend league, that's 3 or 4 extra wins. That could be the difference between me getting Gold 1 or Elite 3 or Elite 2 or Elite 1. So, as I say earlier on in the video, it's something that I'd like to kind of, more importantly, kind of get a view on right at the end of the 40 games. I'd like to, after 40 games, I'd like to see, okay, where are we? How effective was this formation really? I will be very upset if I don't get Elite this week after the start that I've had. You know, 13-2 is a big start. I literally need 16 wins with 9 losses available. I don't even have to win every 3rd game or 2 of every 3. It's a less ratio than that, you know. I literally just need 16 wins with 9 losses available to me. I would always expect, and this isn't me being big-headed or anything, it's just over the months and months of Foot Champs and how well I know I can play. If you said to me, can you go 16-9? After 25 games, I would expect to be at least 16-9. You know what I mean? After 20 games, I expect 15 or 16 wins. So with those extra 4 losses available to me, I'll be very upset if I don't get Elite this week. However, if I don't get Elite this week, I'm going to just take it on the chin. You know, I'm playing with a new formation, excuse me, with new players, an entirely new play style, and although I feel like the Elite 3 pack would be very, very important to the series, because although we most likely would get 2 trash bags in the packs, if we got a big player, it would either be big for the team because we'd fit them in, or we'd be able to sell them and generate the funds to really, really boost this club up. So with that being said, yeah, I am very, very happy with this team right now. I'm very, very happy with the way I'm playing. I'm 13-2 after 15 games. If I can come out with 29 or more wins, I'll be very happy. And more importantly, I'd like to come out with 29 wins just because I want to get Elite 1 for the month. because again, you get team of the season cards in those elite rewards. I don't want to miss out on that. I really want to get that. The next comment was from Oroz Mate. Says, hey Nepo, what do you think about trading in our division titles in the form of tokens for untradeable packs, maybe even seasonal content? For example, trading a Division 1 title for an untradeable team of the season, team of the group stage, etc. player pack. I think this would be a good way of boosting division rewards. Yeah, brilliant, dude. You probably got that from FIFA Mobile or maybe one of the NHL games, right? Because NHL has a lot of that, Madden has a lot of that, but FIFA Mobile really has a lot of that. They have literally like a divisions mode where you trade in things afterwards and get high-rated players for it. I definitely think that would be good, but like not even just Division 1. Like, you know, every time you win a division, you get a token just a varying degree. So, you know, Division 10 would give you, say, 1 bronze token. Division 9 might give you 2 bronze tokens. Division 8 might give you 2 bronze tokens and a silver token. And these tokens go in plans or sets or SBCs that create cards. I'm totally for that. I'm really big fan of that kind of crafting mentality. I really hope EA have more of that in next year's game. More ZR7 says, hi Nep, do you think it would be possible for an average player like me who usually gets Silver 1 in the weekend league and sometimes can't qualify to build a Road to Glory team like you have next FIFA? Absolutely, dude. You can have better than I've got with less time and less rewards, because I have screwed up so many times. The amount of coins I've lost on buying and selling the wrong players, on investments that have like failed, on SBCs because I did them too early. For example, the Giovinco and Jonas SBCs, I did very early on, and Nick didn't. And Nick did them a little bit longer than me, not way longer or anything like that, but like took a fair bit more time, a couple of weeks at least, maybe a month. And with that, he did them at least half the price. He saved at least 100,000 to 200,000 coins more than what I saved. So you know, I've spent a lot of money on SBCs that are just unnecessary. I mean, you look at my club, we've seen it, we've looked at it so many times. I've got millions of coins worth of players that just sit there as untradables, doing nothing with 1, 10, 20 or 30 games on them. You know, so many players I've only played a few games with, a handful of games that cost me so much coins, so I've mismanaged my coins. With what I've got in the club right now, with the first 11 that I'm playing at, you could easily get this first 11 if you managed your coins well and just played FUT Champs when you could to the best of your ability. Absolutely easily, I think you could do that, for sure. Damien Harrison says, Net, what are your match earnings? Interesting. I'm going to look at that for the next video, dude. I found that comment to be very interesting. Gabe says, hi Net, why is it that EA made all the gold team of the season have a base rating of 86? Only if you actually have that rating. Do you think it was to deceive users into thinking these cards are better than they actually are, or something else? I don't think it was to deceive anything or anyone, dude. I just think the way they've made all gold informs a minimum rating of 80, I just think they made all gold team of the seasons a minimum rating of 86. Isn't there 183? I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. And saying that, somebody actually linked me yesterday. There is a silver team of the season, 74 rated, who has considerably better stats in absolutely every area than an 87 rated gold team of the season. Someone like, for example, Pedro Leon, horrendous card. He's, what is he, 88 rated? He's got stats of an 80 rated card, a 79 rated card. You would literally look at those stats on the 79 rated card and be like, oh, it's not bad for a 79, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like, and Pedro Leon is there, and he's just got trash bag stats. It's crazy. Joe HD Gamer says, you were talking about you playing more on this account than the average FIFA player. Do you think next year's Road to Glory you could play the same as the average FIFA player, so we know where we could most likely get our team to and we could follow along with you? No, it doesn't really work like that. Much like what I said, you know, about the dude who finishes Silver 1, could he have a team like this? Like, first of all, we don't know what the average FIFA player plays, so I couldn't possibly quantify that, right? And second of all, this isn't the average Road to Glory. This is the Road to Glory. This is a series about me showing you what you can do if you've got the time without having to spend the money. You know, what the best you can get out of an account without paying a single penny. With that being said, it's also like not correct to do it the way you're suggesting, because let's say on week 1 I play an average amount of games. Let's say I get to 14 wins in FUT Champs and stop there. And in that pack, I pack a Cristiano Ronaldo that sells for 2 million coins. This is now immediately not an average Road to Glory. You know, like there are so many other variables other than time spent on the game that define whether or not this is an average Road to Glory or not. That making an average Road to Glory would probably just be boring. It would probably just be boring. I do see your point. I get where you're coming from, which is why I wanted to address it. Not everyone has the amount of time to play, but this is more of a show of, hey, here's what you can actually do, rather than here's what you should be doing. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? SW says, why don't you bronze bench? I see other YouTubers like Skills do. I think it reduces the likelihood of EAs. You only need 2-3 good substitutes anyway. First of all, I don't think it reduces the likelihood of anything like EAs. One of my best finishes, 33 wins, came with a 189 team some weeks ago. One of my most average finishes, I got 29 wins. The weekend league that I did bronze bench, because I did try it, I thought, hey, you know, what harm can I do? Let me try it. I bronze benched down to a 182, and I only got 29 wins that week. For me, I've tried all these techniques. I've tried bronze benching. I've tried everything everyone said. You know, I've tried home games only. I've tried not playing this kit. I've tried playing at certain times. Doesn't make any difference for me. There's just no difference. There really is just no difference. For those that believe in bronze benching, go nuts. If that placebo helps you, great. And if there is genuinely something there that helps you, even better. For those that do it just in case it works, because I know AA, and he says this all the time in his videos. He does it not because he necessarily believes it works, but just in case there is something there. Why not? Because as you say, you can only use 3 substitutes anyway. So what difference does it actually make? At the end of this game, I thought I got DC'd, boys. I literally got a, we are sorry you've been disconnected. I was like, you are joking. I just made that guy rage quit. Thought I got a DC afterwards. And the server's been horrendous all day. People have been getting disconnected left, right and centre. But fortunately, when I logged back into Ultimate Team, I did have the 12th win there. So I was very, very happy with that. And as I said, we went on and moved up to 13-2. I'd be looking for 15 wins from my first 20 games. So if I can just get 2 wins out of the next 5 games, I'd actually be content with that, because then I'd only need 14-6 from my last 20 games. So 2 batches of 7-3. I would legitimately be happy with that. So 29 wins is still what I'm going for, but more would be great. More would be very welcome. If I could hit 32 or 33 wins for the first time in some weeks, I would be very happy. But as you can see, we're 12-2 after 14, guys. This is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace!